Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. It's been a while. Thanks for holding out and waiting for me, guys. There's a lot of updates coming in 2022 and moving forward into 2023 for the Disneyland Resort. But I wanted to start basically in downtown Disney for the year. And also at the Disneyland Hotel. We haven't been to the Disneyland Hotel in a while, at least for me, to check out the construction progress on the new tower and just seeing kind of what it looks like over there right now with how the footprint of the construction is really kind of moved around as they proceeded, or if it hasn't moved. So we're gonna go check that out, as well as give you a look at kind of what's closing in the area of downtown Disney, and maybe we can ask some of the vendors in downtown Disney to see if they know a specific date on when things like Earl of Sandwich might close, so you guys can prepare and get your last sandwich or last visit into those particular locations before they do shut down. But thanks again for tuning in, guys, and welcome back. Go ahead and like this video if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel because we got a lot more things coming in 2022. So we're headed down from Mickey and Friends parking, Pixar Palace parking. I haven't parked here in a while. But of course the bridge comes down. A lot of people cut through here, but Disney doesn't want you to actually do that anymore. They have a cast members only sign up. Cast members do park in this parking lot, and they have to constantly avoid guests who are walking through it. So it does make sense. So for right now, guys, I know it is faster, but just try to avoid that area to help the cast members who are trying to get in and out of work. They already have long days, and having to avoid and wait for guests and people to cross the street is probably not the best experience. So we're just gonna take a little bit more of an extended walk to the end of the pathway and talk about the next update we might be seeing in the next few weeks. But yeah, Disney built this pathway in 2019 connecting to the pedestrian bridge. They took out this whole section of the parking lot to build this walkway, and I really hope it does become a priority again once the trams do reopen. And we saw work on that on social media. I might have some time to go check that out today too. I'm trying not to prioritize today too much stuff in the parks since we've already been there and covered some of that. I wanted to cover the stuff outside the parks so people haven't really been paying attention to. But anyways, yeah, this used to be the main walkway. Guests would walk from the Pixar Palace parking structure, Mickey and Friends parking structure, right over here to the Rainforest Cafe area where they would have security. And the security tents are still over there, but as you know, if you've been to Disneyland in the last year and a half or year, well, I guess not even a year yet, you have noticed that that security checkpoint is no longer open unless you're a cast member, which is why all the cast members who work in downtown Disney and some of the hotels park out here in the former downtown Disney parking lot. But it is a longer walk if you are taking the walkway bridge to get into the parks, because you can't use this security anymore. Now that's fine and dandy, but you know, we don't mind walking a little bit further. At least I don't mind it anyway, just because I feel like this walk is way better than the tram route. However, the hard part is Disney doesn't really make it very easy to understand for the guests that are choosing to follow the rules and walk down this pathway who don't come here a lot. Because as a guest, you now are dumping out into this area, which looks like you can enter right there because you're seeing people enter that way. But the security staff will just tell you, you're not allowed to come in through here because you're not a cast member. The signage on the gate even directs you that direction because it is the main entrance point. However, there is a small sign over here that says theme park and downtown Disney access that way. So guests are left, well, okay, which way do I go? There's a bunch of different things. So it's just very confusing. My hope is once the AMC theaters begins its deconstruction and they close everything in downtown Disney on the south end here, like Earl of Sandwich and all that kind of stuff, my hope is that security on the other side of this building closes down and this becomes the new security entrance like it used to be. It's a better guest experience. It's much closer than having to walk all the way around this side over here. Not to mention, it's a lot safer because guests aren't having to walk past any cars that could potentially be driving. This area over here is still an Uber, Lyft pickup drop-up location for Downtown Disney and the resort itself, actually. And it can get busy at times. And let me tell you, a lot of these Lyft and Uber drivers that don't drive around the Disneyland Resort, they are a lot of times confused. And I have seen many an Uber and a Lyft driver that have come through these barriers and have gone all the way over there to where the police cars are at, wondering where the heck they're supposed to go. So I just think it's a better guest experience to have this particular security spot open. I know it would be a little bit of a trek for the guests staying at the Disneyland Hotel, but we'll show you why in just a minute, why this security might not be able to stay open, except for maybe on a limited capacity when the construction over here starts on the brand new renovation for Downtown Disney. I thought maybe they might keep this particular security open with just like a few lanes for like guests that have hotel keys for the Disneyland Hotel, because that would really limit access. But we have to remember too, Downtown Disney guests park on this side as well at Simba parking lot, so it would be quite a trek for everyone to kind of walk around this direction, but we'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to show you why I think they might close it. All right, so we made our way back behind the former AMC Theater location to kind of show you another scope, another angle. Now, this is the self-parking lot for Disney's Grand Californian Hotel. Even though it is across the street, guests do come over here to do self-parking if they wish to not valet park at the hotel. Many of us are very familiar with this parking lot if we had come to Downtown Disney during the shutdown. When Downtown Disney was the only thing that was open, there'd be many a day where this whole parking lot was full of guests queued up back and forth and socially distanced to wait to have their temperature taken, as well as go through security once they were allowing more guests inside. So we are familiar with this, but I just wanted to show you guys the size and scope of how big the AMC Theater building is. Now, what I want to know is when they start tearing out this building, are they bringing in the heavy machinery and construction equipment back here and eliminating some of the guest parking at the Grand Californian? Or will that heavy equipment kind of sit on the side over here, or maybe on the front side? And how far out do these construction walls extend, impacting these guest areas, which is why I was mentioning that security, or we could see security on this side close, because as you can see, there's a red building coming up here. For those of you that don't know, that is the Earl of Sandwich location. That is one of the locations attached to the former AMC Theater building that will be coming down and that will be closing this month. So that's just a mere steps away from security. So how far out do the construction walls have to be when something like deconstruction of a building is actually happening? Like this building is coming down. Same with that outdoor awning area and space for Earl of Sandwich. So my question is, if the walls have to come that far out for something like a deconstruction, does it then affect security? And if they have to close, say, half of it, maybe the left side can remain open for flow of traffic for guests that have room keys to one of the hotels. So just a food for thought. All right, so we got just a little bit of a news update here for you guys at Earl of Sandwich. I did actually go inside and talk to the cast members working inside, and they did confirm that the last day that Earl of Sandwich would be open would be January 24th. So the last day you can come get your sandwiches at Earl of Sandwich would be January 24th. They will be closing. She said that they have not been told if they're coming back in any form when there is a new version of Downtown Disney here. But of course, so I wanted to show you the scope of everything that is closing. Everything on this side of the street, or this side of the pathway, will not be affected. It's just going to be on this side. So Earl of Sandwich, you got the former AMC Theater building. And then, of course, we have Sugarboo Co over here. And then the Starbucks Downtown Disney West. Not the Starbucks main Downtown Disney, but the West one is what they call it. So Sugarboo Co is kind of like a, I don't really know what to like establish it. It's kind of like a home goods store, but they've got other things too. So it's kind of like a knick-knack store, but it definitely fits a certain niche. So that's over here as well. And also the Starbucks over here which already looks like it's closed. Starbucks may already be closed. It says our store has temporarily closed. Okay, well, it's definitely going to be for sure permanently closing, but maybe it's temporarily closed right now due to staffing. So as you can see over here, on the side of the building, Starbucks comes back here, and then the theater just goes all the way to the back. So it would affect all of this, could potentially affect the monorail as well too, because the construction might get close. This is, again, a deconstruction. So buildings are getting torn down, heavy equipment's coming in, so who knows what has to close for that, but that is pretty close to the monorail. I'll give you another look at that right now. I'm just trying to stay out of people's way over here. So you can see how close the Starbucks is to the monorail track. So there's definitely a possibility that the monorail might have to close when some of this construction gets going as far as tearing down these buildings. But let's see if we can maybe ask the people inside Sugarboo when their last day is going to be. All right, and another bit of an update. Sugarboo Company, the last day that they're operating is the 16th. So we have the 24th for Earl of Sandwich. We have the 16th for Sugarboo Co. Starbucks, as of today, is already closed. It could be staffing issues and they need to just kind of absorb those baristas over in the main location, and maybe this just remains closed. But there could be a small period where it does reopen, so I don't want to count it out just yet, but I would imagine some point between the 16th and the 24th that Starbucks would close. But Sugarboo Company, 16th, Earl of Sandwich, 24th. Also wanted to mention really quick, since we were here, next to all the holiday stuff here in downtown Disney, the holidays at the Disneyland Resort end this Sunday. So tomorrow, Sunday, January 9th, is the final day of holidays. I believe the only thing, though, that is remaining open is It's a Small World, closer to the end of this month, so that the guests who were blocked out after it did finally open due to its delay with the flooding can get their experience in at the end of this month now, moving forward. But let's go ahead and head into the Disneyland Hotel, get an update over there since we haven't been there in a while. That's the next stop. And immediately when we walk in, it is definitely different from before. We have this huge crane, taller than the towers over here, constructing the new Disney Vacation Club tower in the back. So that's definitely a new addition to the skyline. And that's going to be behind the pool over there. That is huge. I did not see that coming up, and I'm not sure if that's like one that can go down and up. Maybe that's why you don't see it at nighttime or something like that, but first time I've seen it up. Over here at the Disneyland Hotel, just behind Goofy's Kitchen. But we're gonna go ahead and check that out, and then maybe grab something to eat here as well too. So here's a closer look at the pool location. You can just see how tall this crane is. And there's actually people up there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like some dudes up there. Definitely don't sign me up for that job, that's for sure. But this is out by the pool deck. The last time we were here, they were just working on the sub-level of that new tower. So the basement, they were digging down. They're probably gonna start going vertical, is my guess, soon, with these cranes here in place. So we're gonna definitely see some more construction over in this way, but let's head around over here to the side where Frontier Tower is. And again, little update from last time. I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video. I might have. Oh, the geyser's going off. Looks like it's maybe stuck on. Cascade Falls and Old Unfaithful were once prominent features in the classic Frontierland attraction, Mine Through Nature's Wonderland, which is now where Big Thunder's at. Oh, actually, it wasn't. So we just happened to be here at the right time when it was going off. But again, this just is outside the Frontierland Tower, or the Frontier Tower, rather. But yes, the last time, I don't know if I updated you guys, they were originally only using the Fantasy Tower, which is behind the trees through there. And then they started incorporating the Adventure Tower and also the Frontier Tower. So if you are staying at the Disneyland Hotel now, they are incorporating all 3 towers for guests that are booking rooms. I would imagine a lot of the standard views, the cheapest rooms, would be placed in this tower, seeing as how the back side is a parking lot view and the front side, even though you do view the pool, you will be viewing that construction. And there may be some, you know, accompanying noise due to that. So keep that in mind if you are staying. Let's see how much you can see back here. I don't know. It's probably, for the most part, blocked off. Yeah, that goes all the way back over there. But again, we can give you another view of just how big the crane is at. Right above there. But the new Disney Vacation Club Tower is going to be super awesome. They're going to have a ton of new Disney Vacation Club units in that brand new style that we're seeing at Walt Disney World. If you've ever seen any of the rooms at Disney's Riviera Resort on the new Disney Skyliner, the rooms layouts are going to be very similar to that. At the Destination D23 that Mondo went to, we actually saw a preview of the rooms during that event. So I think Mondo had some of that, a video of that when he was there. But yeah, so we'll walk back on the back side over here. Nothing has really changed or been affected as far as the wedding pavilion and the new kind of events lawn that they've got going on back here, since they had to rip out the other one for the new tower. But it looks like, looks like they are maybe hosting a private party today, aka a wedding. So yes, just in case something's going on, we're not gonna bother anyone, but it looks like it is set up for a wedding. They've got some lights in there and everything. So I don't see any guests yet, but let's just stay away anyway, as to not be in their business. But anyways, so that kind of is the lay of the land right now at the Disneyland Hotel. The construction walls have moved out a little bit. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of noise going on, but we're kind of here later in the day, like around 1 o'clock. The construction hasn't affected anything at Tangaroa Terrace, Trader Sam's, anything like that. It's affected a little bit of the pool deck, but the pool isn't really a super huge priority right now, being as how cold the weather is over here. But let's go ahead and grab something to eat and then maybe head through the rest of downtown Disney and see what else is going on. I haven't been in that new Love Pop store yet. Maybe we'll go check that out. So I finally made my way into Love Pop. It's basically a greeting card store with some really unique pop-up cards. And they are officially licensed with Disney. So they got some really great Disney options, especially for Valentine's Day coming up. They even have like bouquets of flowers that pop up. They got Grogu, Mandalorian, BB-8, all kinds of Star Wars stuff.
Maybe the loaded one.
Super cute. Some of these are really creative. You got Cinderella's castle over here, Elsa, Little Mermaid. I always see Grogu, but you never see Yoda anymore, so that's cool. And just because a lot of people have been curious, I know I was curious, they range anywhere from like $13 to like $17 per card, depending on how elaborate it is. Like for instance, this Grogu one here is $15. You can see like that's how that one looks. But then something like this tree with like falling leaves on it and everything, that one's $13, so a little bit less. Probably has to do with the fact that it's not a licensed property. But pretty decent prices. And they also have bundles too. You can bundle up and save on the prices for some of them too. really, really cool. And this is over here in next to the new Pele soccer store. And then they have a whole section over here that just has their bouquets. They have pop-up bouquets for like every occasion. They got sympathy, congratulations, thinking of you, birthday, anniversary, Valentine's Day, all kinds of stuff. And they come in a little thing that you can send to people, and then it pops on up. Very, very unique idea. It's over here in downtown Disney. Come check it out. Looks like another location that may be affected by staffing right now is the Jamba Juice. So it's already closed midday because our store has temporarily closed to protect the health and wellness of our guests and staff. So I'm not sure how long Jamba Juice is going to be closed for, but they are currently closed. You know, as cases begin to rise here in California again, a lot of businesses are either moving to different operation models, having their employees work from home again, or shutting down altogether. So keep that in mind when you guys are coming to Disneyland Resort. If you're traveling, you may encounter some more businesses that are closed than normal. You know, just as things continue to evolve and rapidly change with the current state of the pandemic. And over here along the tram route, guests are actually ushered off the tram route a lot sooner and onto this pathway as they prepare the tram route for trams to return early this year. Rumors are pointing towards a February potentially launch, but who knows? Staffing is continuing to become an issue, so for a lot of businesses, Disney may have to adjust that. But it looks like they are doing some repavement, some work on the tram route, as well as a lot of those tram drivers use those guidelines on the ground when they're in the driver's seat of those big long trams, because it's really hard to steer and then realize that your tram, you know, has to move along with you in the back. So so that project has begun. Almost the entire tram route, they're doing some excavation, especially in this area here, the plaza where all the trams come. Looks like this section's open right now, but let's avoid kind of going back there at the moment because it kind of looks like maybe that's a work area. So, but anyways, right over here, the tram route is under construction. So I would say right now, your best bet's probably parking at Toy Story. You know, worst comes to worst, you can always walk, but the parking experience is just so much better at Toy Story right now. I would say until trams return, go ahead and stick with the Toy Story parking lot. If you can avoid going back to your car at busy times, aka like right after opening and right after a major entertainment event like a parade or a fireworks show, Toy Story lot isn't that bad at all. The longest you wait for a bus is maybe like 2 or 3 buses when you're coming back. I don't know about coming in. It's a different experience usually all the time, but if you're going out right when Disneyland closes or right when the parade or fireworks are done, you could have like about a 45-minute wait. No joke. So, and all else fails, you can always walk to Toy Story lot. I timed it. It was 12 minutes. Keep in mind, though, you are walking in the streets of Anaheim, and if you're not familiar with that, for some people, it's kind of not something they want to do. So, it's your choice, but for right now, I would say avoid the Mickey and Friends and Pixar Palace parking structure, at least until those trams return.
Did you see the reindeers? They did such a good job pulling the sleigh this year. Good work!
So again, I definitely wanted to come today, even if just for a little bit, because today is the last day that I'm going to be here anyway for Disneyland holidays. The holidays of the Disneyland Resort. The holidays officially end tomorrow. I'm filming this on a Saturday, the 8th. Ends tomorrow on the 9th. So just caught the tail end of the Christmas Fantasy Parade. It's probably the last time I'm going to see that. The holidays were definitely super awesome here at Disneyland Resort this year, but I'm looking forward to 2022 and all the things that are going to come to Disneyland Resort this year and next. So I'm already looking forward to Halloween. Let's be real, Halloween time is my favorite time here at Disneyland Resort and at most of the theme parks, so. I have no idea where I'm headed right now. I'm just walking in. Actually, you know what? Let's try to go to Tomorrowland. Yeah, let's go to Tomorrowland. Let's head over to Tomorrowland. Next up, we're riding Astro Orbiter. I haven't been on this probably since they first started construction on the entrance to Tomorrowland. So it's been a little bit. And the parade's also going on. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to do it, because everyone's watching the parade and this was like 5 minutes. Not a super big change, and it might have happened a little bit ago, but it's the first time I'm seeing it. The frozen lemonade cart actually returned back to Tomorrowland. It's been missing for a really long time, but it's back open again. It is serving frozen lemonade. It has a souvenir sipper and they have some chips. No additional flavors at this time. Frozen lemonade is $6 and the souvenir sipper with lemonade is $15. Oh, and they are serving hot cocoa as well. So hot cocoa and frozen lemonade over here. Star Wars Launch Bay has still not yet returned. I don't know that we're gonna see a lot of new things opening up, at least in the next few months, just with the current situation and staffing being really hard for people right now. I can't imagine that we're gonna be seeing additional locations open beyond what we've already have. We may see other locations close, actually. Over at the Finding Nemo submarine voyage, I haven't actually been on the monorail within the last like 2 weeks or so to see if there's been a big change inside. It still says resurfacing this winter. And again, winter goes all the way through March. So we could have a while for that as well too. Okay, but let's head over to, let's see, where do we want to go next? Let's go ahead and check over by Toontown before that closes. Just to kind of see what's going on at the El Capitan, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Alright, so we're headed into Mickey's Toontown for an update over on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Mickey's Toontown does close this year, but not until March. So we got a little bit of time still. And you can see just past this tree is the structure of the new entrance to the attraction, the El Capitan Theater. And is now very prominent, and you can tell very much so from the artwork exactly where it's going to be based on the shape that's taking place right now over on the current situation for construction. Now, what we don't know is how much of the existing Toontown area over here is going to remain open or close and be torn down. Obviously, the entrance is going to be the El Capitan Theater, which we see kind of right over there. And you can kind of also see too, just to the left, there's like maybe sort of a gift shop right there. There's a mom with a stroller kind of heading in that direction. So I don't know, because like the El Capitan does take place or take a spot of the original gift shop. There is space next to it to create another one. But at the same time too, is Toontown going to add additional dining when they open the new attraction? Because there really isn't any dining options back here with the exception of these windows. They never did actually reopen with the park when the parks reopened in April of 2021, excuse me. With Daisy's Diner. I love the pizza here. It was really, really good. It's that kind of cheapo pizza you find at like Pizza Rizzo over in Disney Hollywood Studios, but I still love it. Pluto's Doghouse had some hot dogs and sandwiches. and then Clarabelle's ice cream, which there's another Clarabelle's ice cream over in DCA, but none of these locations ever reopened, and they still have Christmas decorations on them. So they were decorated, but they never did open with the parks when they did reopen from the closure. So they probably just didn't have the staffing for it. But additionally, there probably just wasn't too much of a need for it. And in the artwork, it's kind of unclear to me whether or not those locations remain. It kind of looks like they do, but it'd be nice to see maybe kind of an indoor, outdoor not table service, but quick service location for Toontown, because it's going to be really popular. There's going to be a lot of people coming back here, going on that new attraction, potentially seeing whatever they do to the character houses when they redo them. Plus, you got the new park. There's just a lot going to be going on in Toontown. People are going to want to be hanging out, so it'd be nice, because the closest food option with an actual sort of quick service restaurant is going to be the Red Rose Tavern, if you think about it. I mean, you kind of have the turkey leg stand by the Matterhorn, but nothing really where you can order a full meal that's too close to here. So hopefully that is part of the renovation. It kind of looks like those three windows remain, but it's just too hard to tell from that little bit of artwork that they gave us. And again, over here in Toontown, at least for the remainder of the year that this remains open, Mickey and Minnie are just meeting outside their house. Although Mickey's going to be hosting some parties soon at his house. I think next month. So that'll be fun. For people that want to pay, I think it's like $300. And you get an hour-and-a-half long private party inside Mickey's house. So, hey Mickey. And then the other thing that we were curious about is back over here at the now forgotten Chippendale's Treehouse. There's sort of a hint in the artwork showing that potentially Chippendale's Treehouse might connect to Galaxy's Edge, but I don't know, that's a long connection and it seems sort of unlikely. But yeah, this used to be kind of like a bustling area. They had kids kind of crawling all up and down this whole thing. And then they used to have ball pits over here, which have been sitting vacant for years. Yeah, but kids used to jump in this giant ball pit. But yeah, connection would kind of exit this way and head into Galaxy's Edge. The only logical connection point would be over by the First Order post area. Or kind of by like Kylo Ren's ship. That'd be the logical connection, but that's still a pretty long connection. There's already new backstage infrastructure behind there. There's backstage roads that vehicles travel on, so all that would have to be rerouted. Although it would be good for, safety purposes to have a secondary exit and entrance in the land, just in case there was an emergency situation that required kind of a quick evacuation of such a large area, especially an attraction that holds so many people. So we'll have to wait until Disney releases a little bit more detailed artwork, or they share some more details with us, maybe at D23 Expo or another Disney Parks blog post. It's my guess that we don't see the hills start popping up on the building for the cover-up until the land closes. So we're only a couple months away from that, but it looks like all infrastructure is in place for those to just pop right on up. But it'll probably be a lot easier for them to, because it's not that far off from the other side of the wall. So they probably need some big cranes in here to kind of hoist those into place and start, whether they're welding them on or bolting them on, however they're being attached. So my guess is they're waiting till it's closed so they can bring that heavy equipment into Toontown and start hoisting those in place. So that's about it really for Toontown. There's not too many updates over here. It is cool though to see the El Capitan take shape, so you can get your bearing straight exactly where the attraction entrance is going to be. You can see the former shell of the gag warehouse back there as well too. Another unknown place in the artwork was this area. it didn't really show us clearly whether or not Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin remained, or this area remained in this space. Now, seeing as how they just reworked the whole storyline of Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin being more centered around Jessica Rabbit and her assisting as a detective in ridding Toontown of its weasel problem, I highly doubt they would take out the Roger Rabbit cartoon spin attraction. But the artwork just clearly didn't show it in the piece that they gave us, so people were wondering what the fate of that was and why it was chosen to be excluded, if there was maybe plans they were holding back for that area that they might release at a future date. Something like D23 Expo or something like that. So all good things. So this was new to me. I wanted to check it out for you guys. Single rider line is back open on the bobsleds. And it's gonna be this direction over here, on the exit of the Fantasyland side of the Matterhorn. Because they have the lightning lane open and everything like that, it did kind of shift it over. So we'll see how long this wait is. I'm almost up, and I've only waited about 5 minutes, if that even. So single rider is definitely a good option on the Matterhorn if you want to skip that line. That was over an hour wait out there. So you don't always have to get lightning lane if you guys don't mind on splitting up your party. So keep that in mind. Over here, I just didn't know that single rider was back and in use at Matterhorn. I hadn't realized they were doing it again, so I'm glad to see it back. All right, guys, I waited a total of 7 minutes to get on the Matterhorn bobsleds on a busy Saturday. The single rider definitely worked, although I'm in the very back. Maybe not everyone wants that, but you know what? I'm just happy to be on the Matterhorn, so 7 minutes is not bad at all. All right, everyone, I've been here way longer than I wanted to today, but it was fun. It was fun. Second to the last day of holidays being over. So looking forward to Lunar New Year Festival and so many things coming up in 2022. It's going to be a lot of fun at Disneyland. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button on this video. Leave a comment below. Love answering you guys' comments. And also, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. There's definitely more coming this year. Thanks for sticking with me through the break. I know it's a little bit of a break between videos, so I appreciate that. And also keep an eye out for that podcast. I'm gonna hopefully be starting that this weekend. I don't know when the first episodes will go out. I have to figure out who I'm gonna host the platform on, because you have to host a podcast so that you can distribute it to all the different podcast platforms. So that's my next goal, is figuring that out this weekend. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and stay safe, stay healthy, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.